Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of Ace Attorney Investigation Collections, and we're gonna go right ahead to case 2, and that will be the Turnabout Airlines. That's where we left off. I'm gonna continue from there. The murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief. The Yakagasu. I can't say it again. Oh no! I said Yata. I'm gonna say that. Thinking back, everything began. Fateful day 2 days ago. Two days earlier. Oh my gosh. Yes, everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise. Thank you for flying Go You Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. Oh wow. I remember this was really like an insane turbulence that he had endured. March 12th, 6:13 a.m. flight G390 first floor lounge. Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? I really gotta say that I really love the new looks. They're so good. Like, look at that. Like, the animations and everything is so perfect. 6:13. Huh. Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Huh. Slight turbulence indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. For your safety, we ask you that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. I suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight. Though, admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. What's this? A travel wallet? But it's not mine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? My head. Why won't this headache go away? I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. From earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator. What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. And then the regrets, because... What in the world happened? Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you please return to your He's dead! I'm not gonna scream and say everything. Oh well, but yeah, like, whoa, like the scene, like, it's so pretty. Like, okay, it's not pretty that he died, but like, it's so pretty designed. I like aesthetic. Don't worry, I've watched too much murder. Forensic files, don't. Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer! What? No! You have it all wrong. It wasn't me. March 12th, 6:41. Flight G, second floor, first class. Oh my god, you can just see Edward just there, like, struggling because he's tied up. Everyone, I am sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I am one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tenrio. Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident this flight. A minor accident? It's big! Someone died! An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse and it was a murder! What? Murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So until we are out of this area of turbulence, I ask you please remain seated. But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off! Please, there is no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit. I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecutor, and I assure you I am not the killer. Ha! Being a prosecutor doesn't make you an incapable murderer, buddy. Now listen here, I am not the killer. I simply found the body. So you say, however, I am sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. I swear, on my honor as professional flight attendant. Oh, is that right? I know what I saw, and there is even very strong incriminating evidence to back me up. What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about? We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the power vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation. Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's going in. I'm not about to just sit idly by while I get accused of murder. Miss Tenrio, is it? Yes. I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance? To what? To do what? A chance to plead my case. And a chance to ask what you mean by incriminating evidence just now. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense. Can the personal flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous? You have a point. Very well, I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. Wait, did she say that right? I'm sorry. But be wary of what you reveal. Yeah, true. I'm afraid you only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick. Of course, as you wish. Good. Very well then. Let's get started. I know for a fact I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. What Miss Chenro saw. I swear to tell the truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator. It was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off the murder weapon. So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land. Well, we know it's not actually blood, because it was the wine, right? Is that what we saw in the beginning? That's it. That's her evidence? I don't think you could ask for more perfect witness testimony. Do we actually have- oh, we actually have evidence here. That's crazy. Okay. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it. I swear to tell you the truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately, certain that you are the killer. Let's see if we can like maybe already do it. The scene I saw in front of the elevator. It was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off the weapon. I think we can say Picked up on the floor from the elevator. It wasn't mine. Who is it? Instead of pressing it, we're just gonna do it instantly. Yeah. Miss Tenryo. What is it you're yelling all of a sudden? Did he actually yell? Oh yeah, he did. Miss Tenryo! What is it with you yelling all of a sudden? Ugh, force of habit. Well, it doesn't matter. Miss Tenryo, you say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood, is that correct? Yes, all that blood. Drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine. Sorry, but you so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you. What? I'd like to direct your attention to this. Do you know what this is? It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky. The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Miss Tenryo. What? Impossible! Now then, do you still think I'm the killer, that I killed him with a travel wallet? But I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did. As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you agree it's only grape juice. Ah, then that's right. You mistook grape juice for blood. The murder weapon dripping with blood does not in fact exist. No! There, that should clear up the pesky accusation. Hold it. Just wait just a sec. That is, I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if you wrap it around something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside, please. She's trembling, and the tacked on please at the end sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light. No, I can't be sure of anything until I see contents of the wallet for myself. She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Miss Tenryo, if you be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me? Alright, I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here. Well, open! Whoa, I'm not even touching. My controller was spinning like crazy. Grape juice stain on the outer cover. True, it was I who dropped it in the juice, however, I didn't do it on an ill intention. Why can I not take it out? Come on. There we go. Yay! It seems that this passport is all that is in there. As you saw, there is nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was a murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree? Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it now? Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly? Oh no. Can I take a look? Why not? I'm rather curious myself. This is... Just as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to Mr. Akabe Hicks. Which makes it the victim's property. You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you? How dare you! You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. Perhaps I did perhaps I I can't read. Misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon. But it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. Ah, no, she's still thinking. Her logic. As you claim, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with him done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you? There was nothing in the wallet, right? So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me. I see. You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? I think we can instantly do it again like the first one. And where the whip is in because there was nothing inside, right? Pick up on the floor, there was but a passport inside. And the money was everywhere, right? Done the file deed, it was hard to believe myself, the motive was very simple. You owed 6 money, weren't you? And you can clearly see there's also money here. Let's see. There's money everywhere there. Should I do this one or this one? I think... No, this one. Yeah! I wonder if I might get a word in Miss Tenra. What is it now? Miss Tenra. I wonder if you noticed a contradiction within your own testimony. What are you talking about? Simply put, as you saw with your own eyes, the only thing inside Mr. Hick's wallet was his passport. If I really was after his money, then why would I steal a penniless travel wallet? But that's right, you, Mr. Edgeworth, you didn't know it was empty when you stole it. You would like to think that, but it's not possible. What do you mean it's not possible? There's no way the killer didn't know that the wallet was empty to begin with. Oh, and what makes you so sure? Okay, now we can present the other one. How can I simply show that the killer knew that the wallet wasn't empty from the get-go, because the money was on the floor? If you would recall the crime scene, I admit the wallet was probably not empty at the time of the murder. That's pretty evident by the bills and cards strewed around the inside of the elevator. Oh no! I think you've come to realize the problem with your logic. I would surmise that the victim's wallet fell out during their struggle, and that's when its contents emptied onto the floor of the elevator. I doubt the killer could have missed such an occurrence. Then you're saying? Yes, according to your supposition, if I were the killer, I would have been going after a wallet I knew to be empty. And since I clearly was not attempting to gather the scattered money, it renders your argument of theft completely invalid. Forgive me, please! Hey, what the heck? Are you saying the attendant's wrong? So the guy isn't the killer? Ha! Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. Will you please be quiet? Miss Tenro. Yes? You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus the lounge was dark, and looking into the light from the elevator, it's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand as the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought that I was the killer. Mr. Edgeworth, thank you for releasing me. What is it now? I don't know what is he saying actually, but yeah. Miss Tenro, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged. It sounds like Borginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who... I said that he is giving the runabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant. Yes, sir? I want this person to be under arrest until we arrive at the airport. He's just petting his statue. I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for? What is it you want? I finished talking to the likes of you. Please, I would like to hear why you would like me to be held under arrest until we land. How dare you try to waste my time? You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs. I wanted to spend even at... Oh wait. I wanted to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for you other things. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent. Yes, I am pretty sure that's how you say it in English. Well, I should hope I'm not momentarily bankrupt. I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I think I caught your... I la. Blah, blah, beep, blah, blah. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name. I'm Zinklebent II. I am a very wealthy man in Bulgaria, Virginia. But I'm not an ordinary witch man. I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty. Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now? Pardon? When you said that Mr. Edgewood was giving you the runabout. I have to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once and once only. Only once. I do not have even a second to waste. Time is money, as they say. Yes, and yet you continue to blather on. I saw it. Yes, I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator, going down to the lounge. It was exactly 6 o'clock. I don't know where this accent and voices came from, but like I'm just going with the flow. Anyway, this is funny. Why is he like holding a vase? You know, like I am surprised that that's allowed in first class. Not gonna lie, that thing is huge. And what's the significance of that time? At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6? What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? He understands, I see. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body? Well, it was a little after the patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:15. Hicks was his name, was it? Then I say that man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at that time was this prosecutor, yes? Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice. I was still eating. Still haven't finished, I see. Man, he's eating a big loaf of steak. I just saw that. The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose. Well, I remember drinks and movie and 6. All-time show corresponds to the departure time zone. Probably this is important. But we'll see later on. No complaints, I see. Not a single word against this, right? I have no way of discounting that you have put forward at this point. But it wasn't me. Oh, so you say. But do you have what you say, the evidence? Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all? Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw. Enough to give a testimony? Of course! I was looking at the man the whole time! He was playing with the annoying little, small machine the whole time. Machine? Yes, that what you people call it in English, yes. It was making me crazy with the click, 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 click. From that description, it sounds like some sort of small computer. I believe what Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him play with it quite a bit myself. A simple cell phone. A laptop organizer, I see, but that kind of low budget? I hate that noisy little machine in his hand. Not a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw. Mrs. Tenero. Oh, she's not married. Miss Tenero. Yes? I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene. What? You want to examine the crime scene? If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit. Wait, did I say, did he produce? Yeah, produce. I don't like the sound of that. Fox and a duck pin. Yes, I think that's how you say it in English. It's fox guarding the hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. Miss Tenro, if you wait until we arrive, there is a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then. I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say. Ha! This should not be approved! Please, Mr. LeBlanc, in an emergency, all decisions are to be made by the captain alone. Now please, wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back. You are not planning to erase evidence when you are doing your investigation, yes? Of course not. Ha! We'll see. Mr. Edgewood, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene. What? Unbelievable! I am in your debt, Miss Tenryou. However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that? Of course, I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural as I am still a suspect in this case. I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgewood's every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgewood, shall we proceed? If you wait. What? Really? They would have to talk? Okay, well, oh, for her assistance and help. Okay, never mind. It's time to head to the scene of the crime. The first floor lounge. I wonder why they did that. Like, why would we go and look? I want to see, like, look at that. It's like a bread. And the kid. That's crazy. And this is like just wine. What is this? Can I go here? Oh. Is this the first floor? Oh, that's a different way. Oh, so there's the stairs and the elevator. I see. Oh yeah, the elevator is occupied. Oops. I wanted to thank you for the help back there, Miss Tenryou. It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you. Your standing with me hasn't changed one iota. Wait, I'm surprised that they use that word. Like, just say one bit. I'm actually curious why they use big words for this. But okay, new word of the day, iota. I see. I will bear that in mind. I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that we reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you are not making progress. And what would we do? He asks that you please return to your seat at that time. So my time runs out at his and his crew's direction, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board? I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat, we made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes and first class without a staff keycard. And we found no record of a keycard being used at all. Which means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least I know that much for sure. And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near the crime scene since the murder was discovered either. Okie dokie, it's investigation time! Now then, let's get started. But where should we start from? Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statement. The crime occurred between 6 and 6:15. During the interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it means that the killer was around somewhere. If we are to believe that what you say is true, then yes. The first order of business we will be to gather information to win your trust. Okay, let's just start with him instantly. What floor does this elevator service? Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew card. So the only floor accessible to passengers are the first and second. Oh. Okie dokie, let's see, so... This thing could be the murder weapon. What is this sinister looking figure on the floor here? Oh, that's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Captain Uggo. Uggo. Yugo or Uggo? It's just one of the many pieces of merchandise we sell at our in-flight shop. This bank is a limited edition, and it's so popular that we're down to our last one. You have an in-flight shop? Yes. It's just beyond the lounge on the right, to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment, but it was open the whole flight up until Mr. Hicks' body was discovered. There's blood on here. Could that have been the murder weapon? He was probably holding it maybe, but let's see. His phone is gone actually, because that's where his phone was, right? I wonder what's that hanging on the lineage? Line art. Yeah, line yard. Something's missing from the picture. Now, if I could just put my finger on it. And he has something in his pocket too. There's something sticking out of his pocket. Hope he won't mind if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. It looks like it was taken inside a building somewhere. Wait, we can deduce now? Because did we actually gather all the information? Because now I see it pop up. I doubt that anyone expects to find a dead body in the elevator at this flight. So, Mr. Hicks, he's really dead? Yes. She's trembling, although I can't fault her for when there's a corpse right there. Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes. If you're really dead, he's dead! He won't be answering! I see she's over to trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Oh no! Anyway, I should focus on the victim's body. Let's see. There's blood on the back of Mr. Hicks' head. Could this be the cause of death? He appears to have been struck very hard. Okay. Even his glasses are broken. Okay. We can maybe deduce. Can we deduce? Because what evidence do we have? We don't have, like, his phone, so how are we going to deduce something? Wait, we can actually deduce maybe without any evidence? Let's try that. Is this spot somehow connected to any evidence I hold? Any evidence? But there is... Where... How can we say... Yes! We do have the evidence! This picture has the phone, right? Yeah! Yeah. Now we have the evidence. Mr. Hicks' machine is nowhere to be found. His machine? His cell phone, Miss Tenro. Ah, so I guess because it's not here... Yes, I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it. Okay, perfect. I think we've completed being over here. Hopefully. I don't think we have to look at everything. Let's just look around. This door leads to the flight attendant's room. But please understand that it's off limits to unauthorized personnel. The room is giving off a scent of a woman's perfume. One would think that perfume would smell great, however, to me it simply smells. Not that I have any interest in what lies behind this door. Perhaps we should return to investigation, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? Sorry, I spaced out for a second there. Okay. Do we need to look? Oh, wine here. Oh, bronze. Okay. It's a pity that the bronze statue knows not when a good drink has been spilled at its feet. This is a statue of the founder of Mr. I'm gonna say Ugo. Hugo Huge, who was a big fan of grape juice. I'm sure he would be thrilled if he knew so much grape juice was here at his feet. Is that a hint of hero worshipping I detect? Okay. Ah, yes. There's some spillage grape juice in front of the elevator. I assumed it was spilled during the turbulence. Oh, we must clean it up or someone might get hurt. Aha! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I found some very important evidence. What is the important evidence of in the scene? And I can see clearly footsteps here.
Take that!
What is that? What is it? There's a little smudge, but I think we can both agree that there's a set of footprints. Oh, so you think? Yes, this belongs to our killer. Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe size of everyone in first class. I don't think that will be of any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged, which will make it hard to get a distinctive match. Oh, I see. Okay, I think we have enough logic as well if I gather that information. Let's do some logicking. Okay, where was the killer? Where the killer could have been? Spillage grape juice, broken glass. Elevator. The victim body was found inside the elevator that connects. I'm scared to actually do anything. Let's see. Clues point to where the killer could have been, but could have been. The grape juice probably does it, but I think let's try it. Please. No! I lost a life. Blunt force trauma, and then we can do the murder weapon. Could this be the murder weapon? Because it was blunt. A statue with blood on it lying next to the body of the man who was beaten to death. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured out something. Yes? What is it? The way the blood is on it, it looks like it matches up with the wound on his head. Well, aren't we deserving of the Master of Obvious title? Wait. It's like, well, aren't we deserving of the... yeah. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Do you think that's worth investigating? It would appear that this figurine is our murder weapon. Oh, I just knew it. I mean, I can't think of any other connection. Perhaps Master of Oblivious would be more befitting. Okay, so that could be the crime. There we go. Do we have anything else? Where was the killer? Was the killer maybe inside the elevator at the time? There we go. True, there wasn't anyone else in the lounge than myself right before the turbulence. But if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, then that's a different story. Okay. If I only can prove the killer rode the elevator with Mr. Hicks, then we can say the footprints would be the case. Then they walked. Let's do that. I've had it! Oh, I have it. I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth. I can prove that someone other than myself was around the time of the murder. What? Really? Yes. It's rather simple, actually. The proof is in the pudding. Pudding. Okay, or rather the grape juice in the case. These footsteps here confess to me there's a very fact that someone exited the elevator alive. Seeing as how the victim is dead, that would mean a second person. But couldn't the footprints be Mr. Hicks himself? Ah, but if you were to take a look at our victim's shoes, you can see the soles are spotless. Which means Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There was actually one other person inside the elevator. Hey, I completed the investigation and I got my life back. Yes. What's going on over there? Unforgivable! This is unforgivable! Do you understand what I'm saying? The movie is late! It is the same level of bad as the plane arrived late! But the movie... What? I will not talk to you anymore. You are just wasting my time. What is the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? If there is no emergency, please return to your seat, sir. Don't tell me what to do. I need not to sit down. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, do you have proof you are innocent yet? If you would like, I will prove my innocence to you right now. What nonsense! Are you saying what my eyewitness testimony is mistaken? Not mistaken, merely that there is room for doubt. I'd be most honored if you would please tell me what you saw in detail once more. Fine, suit yourself. I am certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to 6 and 12. The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes? Then, you, the only person in the lounge at that time, must have been the criminal. Mr. LeBlanc, conclusion seems to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the supposed time of the murder was me. So, my eyewitness testimony. If you think you can destroy it, then come, let me see. Hurry, do I look like a man who is having the time to wait for you? Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused for murder here. Anyway, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow, and fast.
Hold it!
Mr. LeBlanc, were you to get a good look at inside the elevator at that time? Of course, I saw what was inside. And are you sure that the victim was in the elevator alone? Yes, the only person inside the elevator was Mr. Hicks, man. This last outburst is a bit too important to let go. The only one, can we actually present that there are two now because we have the footprints? Looks like the person being looks like footprints and something being dragged. Being dragged. I think I cannot. Let me just press on him.
Hold it!
Was he really alone? Of course! I will bet even 1 cent. A cheap ain't for a cheap testimony. But if that's how you want to play it, I'll happily take that 1 cent. Your 1 cent. Needles in the pockets. 6 and 12. I assume the pocket watch in this case is the one you keep checking. Is that correct? Oh, you notice it's a very expensive antique. I will have you know. The feeling is wonderful when I fully wind it up by hand. It does look very well designed and quite classy. I will have to charge you if you want to touch it. That's quite alright. Let's continue your testimony. What a cheap man you are. The return time you waste back to me. And if we must, I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator at 6 o'clock. The body was discovered 50 minutes at the lounge, yes. It's true that I found the victim's body at 6:15. And that's when I found the two of them as well. You see, it all matches my testimony. Then you the person alive. That's the most mistaken way of thinking I've ever heard of. No. Your silly opinion is what is mistaken. Please calm down, the both of you. In a sense, you are both mistaken. Well, if that isn't the pot calling the kettle black, then I don't know what is. I spy a little hole in his word. As you wish, Mr. LeBlanc, I will now show you proof of my innocence. Okay, let's see what we can actually click, because we have evidence. Let's press on it, and we're gonna then do this one. Yes! Mr. LeBlanc, what is it? There's a very glaring contradiction in your testimony. What do you mean? Please take a look in the area in front of the elevator. There at the spilled grape juice. Yes, and? Will you admit you also spilled it with the blood? No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is the set of grape juice footprints. Footprints? Yes, the ones that lead from within the elevator out into the lounge itself. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive. There must have been another person in the elevator, Mr. Hicks. With Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth? Can you please translate for us? Oh my god. I completely forgot. Oh my god. Is she allowed to be dressed like that? Anyway. No way, that's totally impossible. I guess it's what he said. No way, it's totally impossible. I know there is no other person in there. I saw it with my own eyes. If you want to know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us. I suppose she's right. He doesn't seem to be lying. But then, what does it mean? What about this contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc, please, just once more, if you recall the details of what you witnessed for me. He has to repeat himself. I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed my seat. I was always checking the time, over and over again. I happened to follow the man with my eyes when he passed, and I saw clearly into the elevator he was entering. But I swear there's no one else inside. No one. Mr. LeBlanc, if you would please calm down. What? Dare you to have an issue with my eyewitness testimony? No, not at all. Please forget what I said anything. Yet again, he doesn't appear to be lying. But I can't let this testimony stand as the truth. I think he wasn't paying attention, actually. So, are you still upset now? I am always upset. The only time I'm not upset is when I have a piece of art in my hands. It's surprisingly easy to believe that about him. But I was even more upset when Mr. Hicks always walked by me.
Hold it!
Why were you so attentive to the time? Because something unforgivable was happening. Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier. Yes, I was giving a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return back to me my time in money. You understand the point? Movie. Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? A summary of the plot and its start time. Interesting. It was supposed to be a show licensed to love, laugh, mayhem, and murder. I cannot see the movie in my country. You can only see it in international flights. I looked forward greatly to the movie. I checked my pocket watch whenever possible so I wouldn't miss it. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came aboard. So my watch is not wrong. I matched the schedule. But the movie was still late. Very, very late.
Hold it.
Your pocket watch. I'd like to ask you a little more about it, if that's alright. Okay, the movie will start, and so I checked my pocket watch many times.
Hold it.
So this movie you mentioned is the one listed in the Sky magazine? Yes! I was so looking forward to watching License of Love, So Miss Tenro, was this movie shown on this flight? Yes, it was shown at the scheduled time. Isn't it possible you simply slept through it by accident? Nonsense! You doubt me? No! Stop pointing at me like that. Odd. How did he miss a movie that he was clearly hoping to see? I checked my pocket watch a great number of times. That much I know for sure. I think I can press on him without actually doing that, because technically it said like shown correspond to our departure time zone, and he said destination time. So we can present! Mr. LeBlanc, you said that this just now in your testimony. I even checked my pocket watch to destination time when I came on board. Set. Oopsie. Now, if your watch has been set to our destination time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination. Yes, and the correct time is worth its 6 cents. I would like you to take a look at this. If you believe this Sky magazine, clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone. Of course, the movie schedule was also created with that in mind. Miss Tenro, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now? Well, we made a short stop at a transfer point. That's right. I was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Zhengfa. But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now we are still running on Bulgarian time. What? The time difference between Bulgaria and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be out of sync with the schedule. What? Further, with an analog watch set to our destination time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to flights on board clocks. It's also changed everything about your testimony. And you can bet 1 million cents on that. In light of this information, it means you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m. My 1 million cents! This would clear up all of the remaining accusations. So this basically widens the time frame for the time of the death, right? Yes. Because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m., it means that the time of death could have been anywhere from 3 to 6:15. The question now is, where was Mr. Hicks during that span of time, and what was he doing?
I've got something to say.
And you are?
Yeah, I'm Kemi Millie. I'm a flight attendant.
And what is it you wish to say?
Well, I think your story is a little different from how I remember it.
What do you mean, Cammy?
I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know?
What? How can you be so sure of the time? Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we were parked at the transfer point. The stop we made from refueling the car and cargo transfer in Zhengfa, correct? Yes, it was from 4 to 5 according to our clocks. And during that time, did any of the passengers leave, or did any new ones board this flight? No. Not a single person got off or on in Zhengfa. What about the flight crew? The few of us who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gone on or off. But eventually everyone, including Cammy and myself, came back on the plane. So basically, I can assume that no one left or got on since our initial takeoff. Interesting. I should keep that in mind. You're feeling jaded and no one actually went in and out. Yes.
Yeah, I answered his call. And
Oh.
I can tell you that Mr. Hicks was there in his seat when we took off again at 5 a.m.
Alright, then that puts the time of the murder between 5 to 6:15 a.m.
Okay, now what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edgeworth?
I remember coming down here almost as soon as we left the Republic of Sengfa.
Ugh. You were here the whole time from 5, yes? Then you are the only one who could be the killer. Mr.
Edgeworth, were you really here at the lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards? Unfortunately, yes. But then how do you explain the footprints?
Is it not obvious? This man waited for Mr. Hicks here in the lounge and waited to kill him. And then he put the corpse into the elevator. That is when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimony may have been mistaken, but what time I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator on the second floor does not matter. Because the entire incident concluded here in this lounge.
Everything happened in this lounge? Is that what you believe, Mr. LeBlanc?
But do you have another idea?
I simply feel that there is something out of place in the scenario you presented. Is there something that can tie this crime to the location other than the lounge? What else can we say that is not the case? Do we have more evidence? Oh, this is just... Okay. The shop, right? Usually on display at the in-flight shop. This one then.
Take that!
The murder weapon. This little piggy bank is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there and only there and is not displayed here in this lounge. How then did it find its way here? Don't you find that a teeny bit suspicious?
Such a trivial point. It only means you prepared it, taking it from the shop first before coming here. It doesn't prove you are innocent at all.
Is there no way to win with this man?
If I may. What is it? You see,
Well, it's just Mr. Edgeworth's... Just as Mr. Edgeworth says. Oh, and why would you know this so well? Well, it's just that... That piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes. And when was this? It was maybe around 5:40? Isn't it just before we hit the patch of turbulence? That's right.
you were in the shop just before the turbulence?
Yes, I was. Come to think of it. Miss Tenryou, when I found the body, I believe you came out from that door. Yes, I did. And what is beyond that door? That's the flight attendant's room. Then, you were the first floor. You were on the first floor. Yes. I had to do something at the shop and in the flight attendant's room. So I went to the shop first and then to the flight attendant's room. Are you saying you passed by me at some point? Yes. You seemed really into the issue of Sky magazine. You were reading at the time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by. I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was. Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there.
Why did you go to the shop in the first place?
I went for the work-related matter.
Work?
You say? Yes, the upkeep of the shop is also one of my responsibilities. Why did you not say anything about that until now? And what I want to know is what I want to know. In any case, I believe it's clear that the shop needs to be investigated as well. Shall we head over there then? What is it now?
Aren't you forgetting something, Miss Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop?
No, I haven't forgotten. But I have already asked him for permission to search the entire plane. So I think we're alright.
Huh? That's weird.
What is?
Well, I just talked to the captain, see? And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Tenro?
It means she's lying. Go on and admit that you are. And you said you had permission to search all over, but you don't. And yet, here you are. You flight attendant! What are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us? The captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way.
Miss Tenro, why would you go do such a thing? Why would you do such a thing?
Please excuse me. Looks like I got to be in charge now. I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth. If you would follow me, I would be your guide from now on.
There's something about Miss Tenro that has piqued my curiosity. But right now, investigation in the in-flight shop is my top priority. Alrighty, now we can go. March 12, 8:32 a.m. and we're at the flights in shop. So this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here.
You think?
Guess I'll have to clean things up in here. Hold on, you can't clean a potential crime scene.
Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much.
I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool and calm and collected. Because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. There is a very good chance that the killer had paid this place a visit. Okay, let's begin the investigation. Okay, there's some magazines here on the floor. The inside display case is a row of lifesavers and vests for sale. Oh, did he say that or she said it? Oh, he said it. Okay.
We sell a lot of things when there's some kind of accident or something, but some people buy them even when nothing's going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one?
I sense that this shop is one shopper away from being sued. Okay. Well, these are the glass items, so actually came out. So the glass from this display case door is shattered all over the floor, and it looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually I think there is something. What was it? A mini captain's hat? Okay. Wait, can we already do a combination? Can we say... No, we're not doing it. No. There we go. This is... You see? Stuffed toy that just look like Miss Millie is holding is on display here. They're relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly.
How about Mr. Edgeworth? You want one too? They're great for when you're stressed.
Why do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that? Okay, well, I think we can then maybe still do it because I think that the... No, they don't have it either, but... Wait! The evidence actually shows that, I think, right here, right? Let me go! Yeah! So he did see it before. Okay, then I can do it. Okay, so then we're gonna do this one. Captain Ugo, you go. Connect! This hat probably used to be the piggy bank's hat, on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. I believe this piggy bank is forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get inside of it?
Really?
Don't tell me you don't know what things go where in this shop.
Well, I don't. Miss Rhoda is in charge in this place. So, come on, how should I know anything?
I sense that further inspection of this display case is needed. Well, further inspection? Really? Oh, really? Okay, let's see. Lock the display case. Oh. Miss Millie, if I may ask you about this lock.
This one's in charge of the shop's, Miss Rhoda, so she's got the keys of all the display cases.
I see.
Oh, I bet you want to buy something. Do you want me to get the key from her?
No, that's alright. Okay, let's see. It says deduce already on top here, but like, how can I deduce something? I think I can maybe because of glass, so let's just...
Eureka!
Ah! There's definitely something very unusual about this. What about it? If the killer had broken the glass to get the Captain Ugo Bank, there should be shards of the glass inside of the case itself.
Ooh, I see.
Yeah, I guess it'd be like that. However, there is not a single piece of glass inside the display case.
Nope.
There isn't. Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggyback must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor.
I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at the time too.
That's nice.
Which leads me to believe that the killer took the Captain Hugo Bank from here after the turbulence. Yes. Makes sense more because it was already off, so it wouldn't have been brought up. Yeah. Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Millie, and listen when I'm talking.
Nah.
But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules the piggy bank out as our murder weapon.
So you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake?
Yes, at this point, that is very real possibility.
But then what if the killer went to take Captain Hugo?
They broke the glass by accident. The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely.
Yeah, but there's one person who could've.
Oh, and who would that be?
Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, and she has the keys to everything.
Miss Rhoda Tenryo, huh? Okay. I don't think she did it, because I remember she wasn't. What are these?
Oh, they're a company's completely original line of suitcases.
They're practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it. Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but the real world would try, then buy.
No way, but either way, it doesn't really matter.
True, either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they boarded the plane?
Anyway, see that? Just look at all the Captain Hugo heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? Company, yeah.
They're painted on... Oh.
They're painted on with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump out at you?
That really looks like him? I don't feel like that actually looks like him. Like, the face? Really? That actually... It kind of looks creepy, not gonna lie. It's certainly making something jump inside of my stomach.
Huh? Oh, I guess there's no fooling your refined taste. You look like you really wanted to get one. And I thought I was going to finally make my first sale. But you saw right through it. Glad that's done. Never make me try to give you a sale pitch ever again, okay?
But I never showed any interest in to begin with.
It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? You want to know something? This suitcase was designed by Miss Rhoda.
Miss Tenro designed it?
Yeah, it was a company-wide contest.
Well, it does have a very sharp design sense.
Sharp, like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe. I really have no idea what the big wigs decided to go with. It's so bleh.
Miss Tenro designed this, did she? It's definitely not what I would have suspected. Whoa! You okay? I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Millie. Letting a suitcase freely roll around has got to be a safety violation.
Here, I'll put it back.
Wait, it didn't have those stoppers. Huh. Wait, then it has to have been rolled away. Turbulence. Suitcase. Connect. Yes, this is definitely something wrong here. There is definitely something wrong here.
What's this sudden yelling?
Tell me, Miss Millie, do you think there's something strange about these suitcases?
Oh, well, sure.
They're totally strange, like color and such. That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention.
Ah, you're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prime and proper.
Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they?
But I guess they take after their creator. Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Millie. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind, I'd sooner find an answer by inspecting these suitcases myself. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous.
I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she heard what you just said.
What's wrong? She makes a good point. It would be wise for me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I've spotted something that's not quite right. Wait, what's unusual with the suitcase? Can I say that the wheels, or I think I can present this one? I think it's this one, did I say? This... Oh no, I made a mistake. This is what is so odd. I don't think it's strange at all. Aw, no! Then is the other one, the other wheels, right? Yeah. There's something very peculiar about these wheels. Huh?
As in?
As in, there is no stoppers in this place on these. Without stoppers, one would think that the turbulence would have sent it flying. And And so, it's very likely that this suitcase was placed here after we hit the turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? I mean, one of the wheels are like a different colors, and there was like some drag marks, so technically speaking, that has not blood, the grape juice, right? Wait, how can I zoom in again? This one, right? No, this one, this one. Oh, that was speed zoom in. Look at that. There. Oh god, I see actually the Uggo thing. Is they're actually real animals. That's scary. What's this? The wheel is completely covered in something. This color and this scent, it appears to be substance of a question in question is grape juice. But why would there be juice over the wheels of the suitcase? Well, I thought that was the case, but like, look at that, they actually use the real animals. Kind of creepy, not gonna lie. Tag. Probably anything maybe inside. It will appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look inside. Oh, a piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood.
Ah! It's blood!
It appears that this suitcase is very strongly tied to the murder after all. Yay! We did it!
So explain this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder?
I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used the suitcase in some manner. Such as to move something, perhaps?
But aren't you just talking about the cloth then?
That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. What's the thing I believe that the killer used the suitcase to transport it with? Of course, a body. Something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it? Hey, that's also in our thing.
But what?
In light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else, which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location.
So you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it?
Exactly. What is it?
Nothing. Just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He said that he appreciated it if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat. I understand his sentiments. However, I'm not allowed to complete my investigation. The crime scene may have become contaminated by the time we land. If I messed up then I be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course. If that's your only condition, then I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together.
I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge, and I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Millie reminded me about Miss Tenero, I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light.
To be continued!
Continue! Oh, we landed! Future me here. So when we had landed in Hope Springs Airport, I kind of stopped playing for a while to take a break. And when I returned, I wasn't checking if the sound systems were actually picking up. Everything was actually working perfectly fine, but I did not check if the Nintendo Switch sound was picking up. So while I was playing the game, this whole entire time, because I couldn't hear the sound, I thought like I was good, everything was great. Literally, the Nintendo Switch sound wasn't picked up the entire time I was recording. So I am going to be very sorry that this happened, and I'm going to maybe try to edit some background music while he is maybe saying something or not, and when it gets maybe intense, I'll then put the intense music on. So it might be more work, but then you're not going to be suffering in silence. So apologies next time. This won't happen again, so bear with me! I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Tenro and Miss Melee, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tenro in private. So I'm left wondering, just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Francesca, I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I'm needed, and wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Francesca von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She is like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? I would like to be a bit of... It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. But I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame? Wait! It was all a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death. Francesca, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? I suppose I should reserve my judgment until after I investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed, which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I have no intention to. Detective Gumshoe! Yes, sir! Too slow. Ow! Listen up, I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him? A simple yes or no, detective. Yes, sir, understood, sir. You just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth. If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, I'm glad to see you're okay. Thank you, detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Francesca is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you. Intel of investigation. So, how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner office. Coroner. And we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Francesca. She was always good at quick responses to the case. I'd say she's a little too quick, sir. Oh, how so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there had been a murder or something. And I had come in advance to await your flight's arrival. Is sort of odd. She did show rather quickly, and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this. Miss Von Karma just kinda popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details? It's kinda top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, detective. Although I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's all about all the info I have, sir. We would find out more as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation, starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. Okay, so I think we're allowed to go in, right? Yeah. March 12, 1:37 p.m., the second floor of first class. So, you must be the captain. Why, yes I am, and who might you be? I am the prodigy prosecutor Francesca Von Karma, and I have a few questions for you.
Ah, don't you dare, Captain. Getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do.
Oh, what are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person. Reputable. Anyway, whatever. Sure, you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir. He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would have known anything of us. Anyway, I like to leave that type of witness to Francesca and her whip. That thing just randomly popped up. March 12, 1:40 p.m., the first floor lounge.
Now see here!
Ah! Sorry, I'm so sorry!
How long do you intend to hold me? It's impossible for me to be the criminal, I told you!
Mr. LeBlanc.
Oh, it's you! Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spend.
Oh, well, let's go talk to him, I guess. Did you finish taking his statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. Okay, so he has cargo, right, from his art.
If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay.
Yeah, it's art. Art? What sort of art? Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. They're practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk custom to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts. Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc, hats. It's kind of looking like that other piece of cloth. Well, now we can present that, because it is from him. Let's present. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me? Oh, it's a Burgundian cloak! As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose. Yes, of course, this fabric is famous. Orders come from over the seas for me. Okay, so it is from him. This beautiful pattern has been soiled by blood. Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier. No. My cargo this time is much, mighty gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of your police, it is no good. And it is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendant's room too. That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Miss Tenryou. Oh, we can ask that now. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendant's room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Miss Tenryou interview the only one that's taking up so much time? Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Cooperation. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenryou. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room. Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Her logic. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in the lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect. The likeliest suspect, Francesca. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic fast. Okay, it's like the obvious conclusion, but the thing is that we know that the victim was inside the suitcase. So he was probably transported somewhere else, and he wasn't in the lounge at the time. Was here at the lounge when it was discovered. We're gonna press. So tell me, Francesca, do you know all there is to know about the crime scene? I know all that I need to know in order to arrest you. And nothing more? Are you saying there is more I need to know? Ah! Why did you whip me, sir? Sorry, Scruffy. My hands must have slipped. It would appear that Francesca does not have all the facts of the case yet. From the time the victim was calling, the body was found. Let's see. What do you mean by seen? Please stop pretending like you don't know. It's insulting. Obviously, I'm talking about how Mr. Hicks was seen calling for an attendant at 5 a.m. and then from the time after that call until the body was found. The only person in the lounge the entire time was you. Okay, while it is true that I was in the lounge the whole time, that fact alone does not make me the criminal. We'll see about that at the conclusion of this investigation. However, there is one thing that even you must admit at this time. Unmistakably likely a suspect. Under the circumstances, I suppose I can agree that I am the most likely suspect. But I believe in you, sir. I don't think you did it. Miss Von Karma, God believe that too, right? I mean, you two are like siblings. Ow! Quite Scruffy. Even if you were related by blood, that's no guarantee that he's not a criminal. Francesca, I demand to see more proof that you are not the guilty party. Likely a suspect, huh? What a runabout of... blah blah blah. But if I would appear that she doesn't know yet about the new evidence that we acquired and we are acquired with it, I'll take care of the gaps of her logic one hole at a time. Okay, maybe we can present the clot from the time like that it was likely him. The only person at the lounge the entire time was you, and I think the last one is the one that is likely a suspect, that which cannot be. Okay, so then we have to then present this one, because this one is from Borgania, and it's how could he obtain that? Because it would be impossible. No, it's not that one. Why? Okay, maybe if I were to say that probably it's like the scene that we can conclude that it has not been in the scene. Because you can say that his body was transported. So then we can present this one then. Yes! Yes! It will appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. The killer used a suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not at the lounge at all. Now, who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? Excuse me? All you did was find a piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose the suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you to come to that conclusion. It would have seemed I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. A Von Karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point? As if there's proof of that. Where's the proof that the suitcase was moved around? And that could be the case. That the patterns, scuff marks. The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. Yes, and I'd like you to draw attention to this area here. That proved the good to drag the suitcase. We know these marks. This mark here, wouldn't you say that looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels? I suppose. Further, there is also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses. Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear, not by a long shot. Her double logic. Yeah. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit the turbulence. Wrong, again, because that is not prepared because it actually broke beforehand. I think we can get her on that. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit the patch of turbulence and flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discovery of the body. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not everyone can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one fell swoop. Okay. Probably we can do it. Please, I don't want to press on her. Because it's like it was taken out of the space trap after the turbulence. Let's go! Yeah! The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools that those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Captain Hugo piggy bank is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the piggy bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assumed it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage in my pocket, to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed from the murder of Mr. Abake Hicks. You there? Yes, ma'am. Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any traces of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end. But it's possible that it just hidden somewhere, sir. Eek! If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as a bloody clot. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the clot was hidden inside the suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene. There is one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is just in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's perfectly reasonable line of reasoning. Wouldn't you say? Let's see. So that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Francesca, the person you're talking about... Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wished to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your investigation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her. But you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Miss Tenro is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Well, let's go. Woo! March 12, 223. First floor flight attendant's room. So, you're the one who poked around inside the plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Tenro. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. You're here too. Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. Let's talk to her. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken by Miss Millie. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thank you. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Tenro, isn't it? There is one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please, answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Francesca seems to have struck a nerve. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work then? Yes, and I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After you visit the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Miss Tenryo claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. That thing by the suitcase probably, right? If you could please take a look of this for me, Miss Tenryo. Oh, that suitcase. Yes. Oh. Oh no. My power... Yes, about this suitcase. You are the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figure something else about it. This suitcase is the reason why you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know this is a service professional. I'm not supposed to care. But I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that it was the last one there. The last one there? Okay. The last suitcase, so the other suitcase wasn't there. So you're saying, Miss Tenryo, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes. They're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're certainly looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think it'd be great with your complexion, Mr. Edward. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on, my issue with the suitcase isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible! I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Miss Tenryo, what is one of those suitcases doing here? That's... I thought you said there was only 1 left. That one is, it's mine. I use it for a very long time now. No, that's a lie already. She used it for a long time? I think not. Miss Tenryo, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you used this for a very long time. I don't believe for even 1 second that you used this for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used for as nearly as long as Miss Tenryo says? The price tag! Tell me, Miss Tenryo, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase? Ah! What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense, the scale numbers made her cry bitter tears. The sales, made her cry about bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Tenryo, I think I understand. I know what you're trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in the flight attendant shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still on the suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who bought the suitcase was none other than herself. It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tenryo? I hate to say this, but the suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart out into was selling, and you were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? Then the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry! All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something. But the suitcase didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, hideous. I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. So I felt so bad seeing them there, day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. You buy one every single time you work a flight? I see. So in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here is my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly time-stamped 540. Ooh, that's important. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Miss Tenryo, where are these other suitcases? They should all be down in the cargo hold. Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Edward, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases too? Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. What? How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I've ever wished for them to be. Miss Tenryo, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door here. And what about security? That door has no special lock installed because just to enter this room, you need a special keycard that only crew members have access to, which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it! Yes, Francesca? Going on these wild goose chases, you are a disgrace to the Von Karma name. And what do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story. Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their keycard. Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. That other attendant, Miss Millie. I asked her earlier and she had this to say. Francesca got information out of Miss Millie. In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different keycard is required. A different one? Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Tenryo, and you only. And only you. Wah! What? Is that true, Miss Tenryo? Yes, I keep the card in my locker all the time. In all times. Could you please show us the card right now? Yes, hold on. Ah! I don't believe it! It's gone. What's wrong? The key card! It's gone! ha ha, very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen was in fact you were just trying to hide it from us. You've really thought this true. Wait, it's not like that! You can tell us all about what's like at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Edgeworth! Oof. What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Francesca, I know that you are the lead investigator on this case. However, hold it! Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. To be continued, and we're gonna continue! Also, I wanted to actually say, like, while I was like glancing like behind at the background, you could clearly see like whose like bed is who, because like how messy it is and your new one is so proper. It was crazy to see. March 12th, 2:52 p.m. The lower deck cargo hold. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big! Actually, it's really big, wow. This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and an ultra luxurious first class seating. So, is this the real scene of the murder? There is certainly a high possibility of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's investigate, sir. Begin investigation! Oh, you can actually see there is one missing. Holy suitcases! Mr. Edgeworth, it's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. There must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. I think it says these, right? Yeah, I said it wrong. These must be all the leftover suitcases that couldn't sell. The ones that the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy! Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass. And Mysterio wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although it definitely looks like one is missing. This is brittle substance I'm stepping on. Bunch of glass fragments. Ooh, we can do the logic of the glass fragments already, right? Let's do that. Yay! I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected. So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left to find is the murder weapon. Okay. Let's see. I didn't know that this plane was capable of carrying such large pieces of cargo. This thing is as tall as 2 of you on top of each other, sir. It would probably take 20 of you to cover the entire surface of this monstrosity. What, really? Yeah, I guess that sounds about right. There's really no need to take that throwaway estimate seriously, detective. Okay. These are like other things. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. That sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. By the looks in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. Aw, poor guy. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, what is this suitcase doing here? Hey, what is the suitcase, pal? What's with the suitcase, pal? It's the victim's check-in, sir. So this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we take a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, a file. And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. It looks like the profile of Francesca. So he has a... That's weird. Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? We can probably ask her about it. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. Why at this airport? I've been following a very large and involved government-level international crime, but it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Aha! So probably Mr. Hicks was from the Interpol. Interpol is involved. It's a top secret operation, so I can't tell you any more than I already have. Well, she can't, because literally we have evidence that proves that she and Mr. Hicks were partners in this crime. So I think it's in logic. Let's go in logic. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have a document profiling Francesca? Oh, I know! I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. Francesca said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was in actual Interpol agent Hicks. I think Francesca has some explaining to do. Okay, now we can talk to her again and say the truth behind Mr. Hicks. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense. What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol agent Hicks, isn't that correct? I should have known you figured it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trial of a very large international smuggling ring. Ooh. He went undercover to investigate this crime, and it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. But his phone is also missing, so I think we now have plenty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. But what was he doing here, sir? What was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow! Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francesca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No, unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. He probably used someone. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew. And after entering the cargo hold with that person who I read too fast, who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered there. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases, and they entered the elevator, but while they were riding it, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open, and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. Yay, we did it! I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I think she's gonna say Miss Tenryo. I know what you're thinking, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenryo. I had a feeling. No, it can't be her. Definite evidence. If it was a crew member, any one of them could shown Agent Hicks the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenryo. I'd say that's pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Okay, gotta press on her because I believe I might not have the exact information that I'm thinking of. So that might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Melee or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, corp in hand, much like Scruffy over there. Hey! I can't disagree with that with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well. Then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Melee? Ha! I thought you might ask about her. Point is the key card, but the key card was stolen. So she could have taken it. But it's highly likely that the key card was stolen from Miss Tenryo, see? It's highly likely. Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father? Blech! Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence, Be quiet. You disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenryo, you know? It's not just the key card that gives her away. Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Yugo piggy bank? Yes, she is also the only person with a key to open this display case. Further, there is a matter of the keycard display case that held the murderer's bank. But it was broken. Can we maybe say anything about that? It was taken out after the turbulence. It was after the turbulence. Okay. We'll just press on her. But that is a fake. Stop it right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake, then what's the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I say. That's not a surprise. Oh, speechless, I see. After all, you know we searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. Which should be examined further to help us ascertain the intensity of this weapon. Maybe the body. Francesca, I think you are too quick to jump over to your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes. We don't even have the autopsy result yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound of Mr. Hicks' head is consistent to the murder weapon? Scruffy! Yes, sir! Contact the medical examiner office at once! I wish to hear the result of Agent Hicks' autopsy. Meek? Yes, sir! Well, while he does that, and he comes back, there's gonna be news. We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! What is it, detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said that they already know this one thing for sure. Report, now! Doc said that it's one gigantic bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back. He was beaten over such a wide area? Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Mr. Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. A big blow to the back of his head, bruising head to mid-back. That's impossible. Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Mr. Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's, was the wound of the victim's head consistent to the murder weapon, detective? Oh, well, they said we're still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. You! Sir, I told you already, you can't go over there. No, remove yourself from my way. Probably it's him. What is all that racket? It is him. My luggage, my cargo, they're mine. I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating cargo. Please, understand. Have a little patience. I suppose I have no choice. Finally, I think he gave. Hey, what are you? You have let me no choice but to use strong force. Rah! You won't get past me. Oh. Wait, that's it. So that's the whole thing that has been about. What has been about. Blah, blah, blah. We know now how he died, actually, because that's actually true. Further, the matter of the key is displayed in a case held in the murderer's bank. There is some way that proves that it isn't a real murder weapon. Okay. After all, you know, we've searched the entire cargo and came up empty-handed. Why? Because it's hidden. The doc said there was one gigantic bruise on the shoulder down to his mid-back. Ooey. Logic! So, we can say the cause of death was... couldn't be found. No, wait. Nobody could find anything that could be considered the real murder weapon on hold. No, I don't know what to do. Miss Agent Hick was on trial. Okay, probably is this. Please! No! Please. No! Oh my god, why am I doing this so badly now? Okay. I need to be smart. Big brain. Cause of death, down to this middle back, several beating. Okay, please. I'm smart. Yeah, I'm smart, big brain. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. Okay, we know now. This sizable. Yeah. If we were looking for a rather large weapon, you think it would stick out. But so far, we couldn't find anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. What are it all about? What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Francesca, what do you want? I found it, Francesca. I found the real murder weapon. You did? He really jumped? We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check him out, sirs. There's that pompous attitude of you again. You should learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you really are the prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Come on then, show me the real murder weapon of you speak. We don't have evidence to show. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reason for a foolish fool from a foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should phrase it as that which caused Agent Hicks that's what? Wait, okay. Perhaps I should phrase it that which caused Agent Hicks is incorporeal. Okay. Forgive me, but I believe I figured out what was the real cause of death. Free fall. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back. And the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder weapon inside this plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean. Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this cargo hold. What? Then we're in trouble. We may have some second death on our hands, sir. I think he's alive. Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quiet! Why are you screaming? He's alive! And there you have it, Mr. Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. The man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given to the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have been a Borgian pancake for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is the cargo box is there. So there's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there's no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when the gigantic box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? Okay. What is a certain possibility the box was not always there? We had the shipping thingy. The refueling in Zenha, transfer cargo, refuel transport. You refueled in Republic of Senfa? Yes. This flight had a short layover in Senfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason of the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto this plane at the time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah, It's labeled Senfa Express. Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Senfa. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not there in the cargo hold during the Europe-Senfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Oh, we got another investigation in hand! Okay, let's go to the cargo. This rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Olive red statue. Never heard of it. Nor I. But all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Then let's get investigating, sir. How did it went up there again? That's crazy.
Look here! Do not go about touching my possessions without my permission!
Look! Don't rush up onto me like that, pal. So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, doesn't it? Does it? Yeah, does it? Not doesn't it? Does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Let's talk to him. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc.
Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This olive red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much more. Much more.
Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, detective. I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun. I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edward, so 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. But like, how can we presume that it is not? Can we present something to him? What is this? Hey, we can probably assume. Maybe we can ask him about if he knows about transporting. Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe we do have to show him the piece of art, then he would maybe talk. No, never mind. He's also not talking about that. I thought I was smart. And we already said about it. This, and then this one, autopsy, Millie's testimony, okay. Oh, okay. Well, that was the reason. What a waste. How horrible to see a priceless piece of clock soiled. I assure you it wasn't me. I believe it to be the work of the killer.
I will teach that killer a lesson. You can be sure I will. It will be the LeBlanc Revolution.
I think he meant the LeBlanc Retribution, but either way, it sounds intimidating. Okay, now maybe he has something to say. No, he still doesn't have something to say. Huh. But then we can still say nothing about this either, which is weird. Okay. How are we going to approach this? Wait, do we have like maybe some... Yes! Sometimes I forget about the logic. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Sengfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. Okay, now we can question him. Yes! Yes! About the statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is fake?
I suspect that your statue might be the target of the international smuggling ring.
Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here.
Do you mean the cargo certification document?
Mr. Zinkla why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once.
I can't read this. What does it say?
It says as plain as day, the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe.
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate.
No, that's...
Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting here. Can we prove that it wasn't? I respectfully disagree. We can discount the theory until I see the statue for myself.
Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right.
Maybe they already stole it in Europe and then they placed it in Sanfa, like a fake one. That can probably be the case. Oh.
This.
Oh, oopsie. This. I know I've seen this somewhere before.
This is the olive red. It gives such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it.
Oh wait, that was Gumshoe. Well, he became LeBlanc for a few seconds.
LeBlanc, this statue has highly amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at the museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it.
I believe a closer look is warranted here. Let's look closer, like I said. Ooh. So, this is the infamous olive red statue. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Well, we can maybe deduce already because I already know myself what is wrong with it because these eyes are not red. Yes, we do. This picture. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of a sunset when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do. But it really looks like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in the field, spinning with my arms out until I fell ill. I don't care about the sunset. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Ah, sir, they're red. As I thought, this statue is fake. Mr. LeBlanc.
What do you want? Do you know I am a busy man?
I allow you 2 seconds for you to answer. The Isle of Red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not?
It is the biggest trophy on European trip.
Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue?
The trigger started 17 years ago.
Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is gonna be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but...
What is it? Sympathy? For what?
You'll see, I'd like you to compare the eyes. That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. Oh, whoopsie, that was like Mr. LeBlanc saying that. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us, and the one on this photo.
Why the sudden yelling? Now then, oh? It is the photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe.
Yeah. Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
Fake?
I believe that even further examining will be required. Now, that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Sanfa. And I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. What else? What else? What else? Oh, we can go down. Let's go down. Aha! Can we deduce that, or I think we can, like, say this. Like, that's not what this is. The statue looks like it's stepping on all over the neighbor's clod over. It's kind of resemble this owner statue in a sense. Oh ho. You! What did you just say now? Further, my clothing hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It's too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasser of my subordinate. Why should I forgive if the dress passes, unless it is an expensive dress? You keep it. Okay, well, I think we should detect it because, yeah, I think that's the case. Let's just deduce this, please. Any evidence I hold? Yes, we have. No, I want to go like this. To the right. This one was loaded on board during the fueling. Right there. There is clearly a contradiction here. What is going on about? It's just a simple case of cargo covered getting stuck under another piece of cargo. That's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way. But the statue is on top of the clot. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought up on board in Senfa, there is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Senfa. But then, what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of a flight? There is only one reason why, to secure proof of smuggling activity on board this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francesca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Probably it's then Miss Millie, because she's the only one that actually speaks Bulgarian. I replenish my health. I feel back great. I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh? Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks has to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Senfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Senfa leg of this trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move the statue immediately! I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath it now. Miss von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the olive red statue out of the way, we tested the area under the luminol and there was a reaction. Blood! I see. There was a reaction to the luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all that blood? Probably with this! The killer used a bloody clot I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see, they had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zenfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zenfa? There is no other convenienceable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that's true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zenfa, then this becomes highly suspected. Then is Miss Mealy's testimony. Recall Miss Mealy's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zenfa. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know? She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Mealy herself. To be continued, and we're continuing! We're not stopping. We're gonna get her. March 12th, 3:35 p.m. Lower deck cargo hold. Miss Millie. Miss Millie! Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zenfa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in a seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was long dead before we ever touched down in Zenfa. Oh. Miss Cammy Millie. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did. No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Millie. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. Ugh. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Millie. If you please, tell me about your alibi during that time span. From just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah. Oh, yeah. From 3 till 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Oh, yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. So she was technically all the time there. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Millie, wake up! She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Okay. Well, let's continue pressing her, I guess. Rebuttal. Miss Millie, wake up! Oh, I'm awake. And she's gone. Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant. Why ask me to wake her up when you can finally put that whip into an appropriate use? If I remember correctly, food was being served in the first class in the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Yeah, but that kind of stuff runs by Miss Rhoda. Then what are you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating and then having a most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way, sleeping is part of my job too, you know. Miss Millie, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up! I'm awake, and she drips off again. Ouch! What did you whip me for, sir? Ooh, what did I miss? A poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead. Really? Sorry about that. You can make amends for that by continuing your testimony. I think she wasn't by her lonesome self at that time because I think we have a testimony of the thingy right here. Timestamp, and she went to the attendance room. Probably can we already press? Let's press! Yay! I wonder if you would be so kind to take a look at this receipt, Miss Millie. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenro bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp, as you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m. Miss Tenro. Yes. Huh? Why the killer here? I thought you have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenro, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase, after which I went straight to the attendance room and dropped it off. And did you see Miss Millie there at the time? No. So, Miss Millie, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Camille. The bathroom. I be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just misheard her. Nature calls, you know? Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it is the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusions to prove to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Okay, another alibi part version. Her reason for suspicion. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rohada too. She's the one in charge of the elevator key and shop, you know? If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please leave Miss Tenro out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rohoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got an eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Oh my god. She meant otherwise. Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. She tried to dodge that. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Because I'm one crew. Let's just press on her. No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statement regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. Ah, but say I wasn't an attendant. You wouldn't suspect me then, would you? Yes, I suppose that's true enough. Miss Rhoda, too, that can be possible. She already being detained for further questioning, or have you already forgotten? Oh, yeah, guess I forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you would think that. I mean, me? A killer? Miss Millie, what did you mean just now by no one else who could have done it? And then she would say about the charge of the elevator key card. Can we say that maybe it was already stolen? No. Okay, well, we'll just press on her. And what are you in charge of, Miss Millie? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. But I spent so much time in there. It might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edward, Cammy is a very talented... Oh yeah, we can do that. Is very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Bulgarian. She is the only one who on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what I am in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could I have meant? Yeah, so I'm really good at Bulgarian. She's fluent in Bulgarian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Bulgarian. Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Bulgarian. Very interesting. You're probably gonna take that. If you ask me, it makes suspicious. All my charges and some Bulgarian stuff. Yes, we can present that now. That's this. So, you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Bulgarian. Is that correct? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Bulgarian for a while. If that is the case, then the signature of this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Bulgarian is you, Miss Malie. Without your participation, the smuggling of the olive red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, her demeanor change. It was exactly as you said, as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the only one who signed off on that document. But you can't use the fact alone to make your allegations of smuggling stick. There is no direct correlation, after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So sorry about that. It seems that she finally woken up. This is going to be one tough flight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding to a smuggling ring, and just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. Perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First, it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenro, who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime to anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that plan was to push all of the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicion. Frank Tenrio from the very beginning. Let's see, the luggage? Probably. Yeah, the luggage. The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they choose a suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenrio for the murder. Miss Tenrio buys a suitcase on every flight she works on without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made to do with whoever was at hand adapted their plan and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What is the special circumstances that need for the killer to frame someone? Where the murder took place, when the murder took place, who the murderer was, is where actually. The special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day of age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenryo or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of this criminal's moments is not Miss Tenryo or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you and you alone could be the killer. And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. Nah. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still accountable for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture. The phone. It's still missing, right? Let's take that. I don't have an actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Francesca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks' cell phone. Or at least, that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from the height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Francesca, I'd like you to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Agent Hicks' phone is ringing from somewhere, sir. I'd hear a detective. Now, where is it coming from? Isn't it maybe on her as personnel, maybe? Probably? Let's try. No. Miss Millie, wake up. Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I got sleepy all of a sudden because it sounds like a lullaby I used to love as a child. I better find that cell phone fast. Where could it be? Where could it be? Probably in one of those suitcases? It sounds like the cell phone is in the flight attendant's room. We better hurry in the flight attendant's room. Let's run up to the stairs. It'll be weird if it's in Miss Tenryo's section. The ringing is coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. The ringing is coming from somewhere around here. But it's not here, sir. why do I have such a bad feeling about where we're going to find a phone? Can I not open this? No. What? No, it can be. Oh, another one. Oh no! This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tenryou's. What? Oh no! How can we accuse that it's not true? March 12, 428, lower deck, cargo hold. So, Mr. Edward, how did it go? Where did you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenryou's locker. What? But? Rhoda Tenryou, I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenryou right away. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenryou's locker at the same time. This is related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. Ugh. The only voice that sings the truth is the evidence. Is the one word we cannot ignore. Oh no! What should I do? Francesca's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then. Why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on, or in it. Wait, we have to maybe check the contents. Wait! No! Okay. What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. Yes! Okay, what else should we check? Maybe the back? No, not the back. There must be a switch to open the phone. Ooh, it's a flip phone. What should we do to crack? The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. Maybe we can transfer it or so. When did this start putting keyboards like this in cell phones? Hey, this is one of those computer cell phones that they started selling recently. Computer cell phones. Yeah, they got a computer in it, and it's a cell phone. Neat, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? All you need in a phone is the phone part, nothing more. I'm guessing you can't even send out an email. Talk about inconvenient. Do you have a problem with what I do and do not care for, detective? No, sir. As they say, simple is best. Okay, no. How can we... Camera? The camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of the smuggling? Francesca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edward, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. I'll find a way. Don't you worry about that. Oh. May I go back to sleep now? The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also a reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francesca? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Francesca, your phone, if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. It's empty! We got evidence! This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey, the alphabet's nowhere in this picture. But this has no meaning as the piece of evidence is this murder case, right? Ouch, she's right. There's not so much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks' killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? What about it? I mean, the bedsheets? Probably. Yeah, I think the bedsheets. Wait, let me see something real quick. Probably. Let's just, wait! Bedsheets, and this one is like weird language. Can we say anything about that? What's all this? Oh, there are cargo ships from Bargania and Shenfa. So the reason why they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zenfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of boxes is written in Bulgarian. It says blah blah blah. It is clot in English. Clot? Could it be? Is this where the killer... What? What is the scary face? Miss Millie. Yes? It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who the killer is. Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading off simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. The Bulgarian cargo that this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. That will be this actually, because it says clot and this is Bulgarian clot. And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood that had spilled. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Senfa had clot written on it. In Bulgarian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from and cleaned up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Bulgarian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Camille. Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes before looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the boxes is in English or in Bulgarian. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment for the killer's indiscriminated nature. What? There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Bulgarian, well then... Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. Bedsheets. Hey, I'd say it says bedsheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely. And bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning a blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Bulgarian cloth. So you have an explanation for that? Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was at the cargo hold. So they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets have been opened. However, Bulgarian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic Zenfa. That's right. That is why the Bulgarian clot was used. And the only Bulgarian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camille. You and you alone. Nyeh. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were sealed. All we have to do is contact Zenfa authorities in time. We may find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. Urgh. So what do you say, Miss Millie? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or you rather wait to see what we find out from our investigation in Zenfa?
Boo! No!
Oh. He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures and I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I... So she pushed him over. March 12th, 5:26 p.m. First floor lounge. We finished making all arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? They're taking her down to Percent now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at her mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not have been here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at Go You Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now, I must bid you farewell. May your skies be blue, no matter where you go. I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy was it fun. Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francesca? Oh, she's filling out some custom paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma, always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding to her case. Detective? Can you cancel the car I had you reserved earlier? You got it, sir. March 12th, 5:47 p.m. Hope Springs Airport. Francesca. I thought I told you when you first landed, I have no time to idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. I have no such time for such familiar reminiscence. Just who do you think I am? You are Francesca von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretch mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing period, living her life, on the name of the fame her invisible father built. True, your father, Mainfrey from Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I am on the trial of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only 1/4 of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there is another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent? He is a star among Interpol agents and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows? You may even run into him one day. I simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The flight has only just begun, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full. And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness. I can finally rest easy now, knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all you have helped, for all your help and cooperation. It was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. Ho ho ho. I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. Just how much did you cut his just how much did you cut his salary by, Francesca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francesca von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of the ring that already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war. They would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. It's all connected. Edgeworth speaking. Finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct? So you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There has been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. Oh no! The end. Save. Well, that was the end of case 2 of Turnabout Airlines, and the next episode it will be about case 3, the kidnapped turnabout. I'll see you guys there. Bye.